Hey you guys, it's Monday. Happy Monday. I want to start off this week by talking about something that's actually extremely important to everyone, especially females, but we don't get a lot of it. And most of us, it's because we are inland, and that is called iodine and thyroid function. And we're going to talk about iodine, how that affects thyroid function, but also more strangely, how it affects breast tissue health and also babies as well. So iodine is an extremely important trace mineral that we that live more inland do not get enough of. One, because all of our soil is depleted, but two, iodine is most richly found in the ocean. So soils that are closer to the ocean that get oceanic spray, they're going to be higher in iodine. Foods that are from the ocean are going to be higher in iodine. Seaweed, kelp. That's why I try to include a lot of kelp noodles almost every other week or like a few times a month. But really, you guys, we should be trying to incorporate more foods like seaweed in our diet more often. If not, then make sure you are supplementing with iodine, especially if you are a female with Hashimoto's. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Actually, let's talk about that now. So why is iodine so important? Because what happens is your blood filters through your thyroid, and your thyroid picks up like all of this iodine. And in fact, your thyroid gland has 1,000 times more iodine in it than your muscles. That's how important it is for your thyroid to receive iodine. And the reason why is because it creates thyroid hormone, which you guys know as T4 or T3. And so T4 is made from 4 iodine molecules and 1 tyrosinase. I think that's correct. I'm gonna have to double check. Either way, so an amino acid and 4 iodines. And then it circulates, so it's made in the thyroid, circulates through the body and gets converted to T3, so 3 iodines in the brain, but mostly in the liver and the kidneys, and then some in the gut. So if you are not getting enough T3 in your blood work, you might have, but you're having enough T4, that means your thyroid is working, but your conversion is not. Now, this T4 conversion to T3 in these organs can be hindered by 2 factors. Your organs are not working, or you don't have enough selenium. Because selenium, when it's combined with an enzyme, creates that modification of the T4 to T3. So the important things to recognize: you need a lot of iodine. No, not a lot, but you need a sufficient amount of iodine. The majority of us are not getting it. So you need to start taking it, especially if you have thyroid issues, if you have energy issues, if you have hair loss issues, if you have weight gain issues, if you're not healing and repairing properly, if everything just feels sluggish, if you have brain fog, because this is what thyroid hormone does. Thyroid hormone tells your cells when to utilize oxygen. And that's the most simple way I can explain it. But here is why that's important. Because you need oxygen and glucose to create energy, which is called ATP. You only need those 2 things. So if you're not getting the message to your cells that we need oxygen, so utilize oxygen to make energy, then you're not making energy. If your cells are not making energy, you're not working properly. You're working at 50% versus 100%. Your cells are multiplying at 50% versus 100%. Your hair starts falling out. Your skin isn't healing. You're not healing after exercise. So that's why thyroid hormone is so important. That's why getting sufficient amount of iodine is so important. That's why on top of your menus, I want you to either supplement with iodine or eat more seaweed, eat more kelp, cook it in your broth. If you guys have extra broth, just do like a little broth bowl and cook up some kelp noodles in your broth bowls and eat that as a snack. All right. Now we've spoken about iodine and thyroid function and energy and cellular metabolism. Now let's talk a little bit about this obscure idea of how iodine actually affects breast tissue health. So iodine actually acts as an antioxidant for your breast tissue. So what that means is iodine Yes, it's all that wonderful juice for your energy and your cells, and that's why thyroid hormone is so important. But iodine that acts as an antioxidant to your breast tissue is protecting all of the fat in your breast tissue. This is extremely important because what are we seeing a lot of? People with Hashimoto's, people with breast cancers, right? Not only this, but especially women who are pregnant. How is your baby supposed to get iodine? From your breast tissue. So you need to make sure you have enough iodine to not only give your body it, but to give your baby it. So your baby can have proper growth, proper function, no developmental delays or anything like that. Another thing iodine does is it enhances white blood cell activity. So why is that important again for breast tissue and your body in general? It's because we want to keep these babies healthy and well so that we don't have any kind of opportunistic like cancer stem cells setting up shop and growing, right? Because then that leads to breast cancers. So iodine, great for thyroid, great for breast health, great for babies. Make sure you're getting enough of it. Just to recap, you guys, because we live inland, we need to eat more of it because we're not by an ocean. We're not eating foods that are grown on soils that are having sea sprayed on it. Also, with all of these these trace minerals, we're just not getting enough of them in our diets because our soils are so depleted. So please supplement with an iodine slowly. Do it very slow. One other thing I want to talk about, and we're going to kind of go back to the whole thyroid issue, and I've spoken about this in the past on my Instagrams, but because I forgot what I was going to say, but our soils are so depleted, so supplement, increase it nice and slow, all right? So going back to thyroid, you guys, my brain's all over the place. I have ADD in case you didn't know. So going back to our thyroids, with iodine, there is remember how I said that iodine that circulates through the blood, your thyroid kind of acts like a filter and holds in iodine so much so that there is 1,000 times more iodine in your thyroid than your muscles all over your body. Well, there is a molecule that mimics iodine, and that's called bromine. And bromine is found in breads and wheats. So what happens? Your thyroid starts to accumulate bromine in it, and it blocks all those iodine receptors. So now you're not creating thyroid hormone. So what do we need to do? We need to cut out all the wheat, cut out all the breads. Unless you're buying like real bread, like bioidentical organic bread, you know the farmer, you know how they till it, you know how they don't spray anything on it. And then the bread says it's bromine free. You want to make sure that label says bromine free, and you'll most likely not see it. So your thyroid is collecting all this bromine, your iodine receptors are now being clogged, and now you're not creating thyroid hormone. So what happens when you stop the bromine, you start increasing your iodine, you get this massive detox of bromine. So a lot of people feel really sick, or some people can feel sick. So you want to make sure that you up your iodine nice and slow. So if you're using like standard processes iodine, you take one 3 times a day for about a week. And then you up it 2 3 times a day. And then you up it 3 times a day. And then talk to us, see how you're feeling. And normally people take 9 iodine a day, especially if they have thyroid issues, because they are so deficient. And we're playing catch up over decades. So that's why you're like, oh my gosh, 9 iodine a day. Yes, because we are, and again, that's why we're doing it slowly, because we don't want to create this massive detox of bromine that is now sloughing off of your thyroid, if that makes any sense. So you guys, let's recap real fast. Iodine, you don't get it a lot in our food supply anymore because our soils are so depleted and we don't live by the ocean. Iodine is crucial for thyroid hormone, as well as selenium to help convert iodine from T4 to T3. Iodine is extremely important for breast tissue health because it helps with oxidative stress in the fat cells of your breast tissue. Not only that, but that's the only way your babies can get iodine is through, you know, breast milk. So you need to make sure that you have enough iodine for thyroid function, for breast tissue health, and also for immune function, because iodine enhances white blood cell activity. All wonderful things, especially because we are seeing this epidemic of cancer and breast cancer and all of that kind of stuff. So please make sure you're taking iodine. In my meal plans, like I said before, I don't include seaweeds a lot, and I probably should. But I want you guys to go ahead, go buy some seaweed, start eating it, eat more kelp noodles, throw that in your meals if you can, or supplement with iodine if you want. If you have young girls, you're raising young girls, make sure they're taking iodine too, okay? Because we don't want to see them in their 30s and their 40s having these thyroid issues, all right? Hopefully that was helpful, you guys. I hope you enjoyed learning about iodine today. It is so important. So important. Take care. Happy Monday.